Deep in the Northern California woods, there's a remote community where people come to get away from it all.
It's called Rancho Tehama officially, but a lot of the people out there just call it the ranch.
It's a very hidden community, if you will. It's a destination point. It's not somewhere you just drive by on a Sunday afternoon.
That's what drew Danny Elliott and his mother, Diana Steele, to this hillside community many years ago.
All right, see ya.
Danny was the most unique person I ever met. Always had a joke, always had a smile, and never worried about nothing.
Danny and Diana are raising his son Gage with the help of his girlfriend, Haley.
Haley, she was awesome with Gage. Danny had lost Gage's mom in a car accident about 5 or 6 years prior. So Haley was basically his mom.
They aren't the only family that settled here for a fresh start.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Johnny.
Johnny Fomathep served 9 years in the U.S. Air Force before moving here with his wife, Tiffany, and their sons.
You know, that's what I was in search of after the war.
Hey, don't forget, me and Tiff are grilling later, so don't forget to come by.
Oh, yeah, wouldn't miss it for the world.
His backyard is right behind our backyard. So we kind of made like a pact of, hey, you're going to watch my property, I'm going to watch your property. If there's any issue, we'll give each other a call. Where I was really lucky to have a neighbor that had the same mindset as me about what a community should be.
So, you guys meet the newbies yet?
Oh, we're just on our way over to meet him.
Oh, we'll come with you. Tiff, let's go.
Hey.
A new couple has recently moved onto Bobcat Lane. Kevin Neal and his wife, Barbara Gleason, have come out here in search of a quieter life.
Kevin said, this is our dream home. Extremely private. And that's what Barbara and Kevin liked about that community.
Kevin refurbishes old motorcycles, and Barbara works in a pizza parlor.
Almost. Bring your home slice? Whoa. It's the whole welcoming committee. Welcome to Bobcat Lane. I'm Danny. This is my mother, Diana.
Hi, pleased to meet you.
Hey.
Kevin, you would easily confuse him with a college professor or school principal. He was a very normal guy.
Johnny, nice to meet you.
Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Bart.
The first time I met her, she seems like a nice person.
Nice machine you got there. Can't wait to get this thing roaring. Kind of a hobby of mine. Perfect for out here, right? Yeah.
Kevin says, why do you think I moved out here? I want privacy. I want to work on my motorcycles. That was his dream.
But it won't take much for that dream
What's wrong with everyone?
to turn into a nightmare.
Speaking of perfect, I'm actually having a barbecue. I live right over there. Would you guys come by tonight?
Why not? We'll stop by after my shift. Terrific.
See you there.
Perfect, see ya.
They seem nice.
Sorry, guys. Just needs a little more love.
Johnny and Tiffany are eager to show their new neighbors a little ranch hospitality.
Thank you. There we go. Oh, hey, what's going on, bud? Glad you can come. Hi there, nice to see you.
So glad you guys can make it. Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Hey! I'll be over in a bit. What's he doing?
Oh, he just stores scrap metal in the yard. That's his hustle.
For Danny, collecting scrap is just a way to make a living. But to Kevin, it's an eyesore.
That can't be good for property value.
Well, no one around here really minds, so don't worry about it.
You should probably do it somewhere else.
It seems like Kevin wanted to pick up the role of block captain all of a sudden. He was kind of like a Mr. Know-it-all.
Danny! Burger's getting cold.
Actually, you know what? We should get going.
Yeah, I had a long day. We really just came by to drop the salad off. Thanks for inviting us.
All right.
The neighbors' warm welcome gets a cold shoulder from the newcomers.
How does a scrap monkey afford a car like that?
Beats me.
There's something more going on here.
As Kevin and Barbara continue to settle in,
Morning, Kev.
their neighbors continue to reach out.
Oh, she's a beauty. Yeah, she is.
Danny was known for a lot of things. He could get an old tractor cranking in a matter of minutes. Really talented.
You know, if you tighten up that right there, it'll run a lot quieter.
Yeah, I got this, thanks.
Kevin was a mechanic. He was very good at taking things apart and putting them back together. He wanted to be alone. He didn't want to talk to neighbors.
Besides, I like it loud.
At that point, you know, his behavior and everything just started changing. Kevin would ride around with his dirt bike full speed, swerving all over the place like a maniac.
Aggressive, very hardcore. Not afraid to wreck whatsoever. No fear.
Neighborhood streets.
Pretty active. He runs around a lot.
Oh, Gage is about the same age as my 7-year-old at the time. The kids were coming home from the bus stop. They were walking. Kevin went past him going at least 40, 50 miles an hour.
Oh my God. Okay, go. You okay? Come here.
Gage, you okay? Your knees are okay?
Yeah.
How about your hands? You all right? Let me see.
What's going on? You guys okay?
Yeah, I think so.
What happened?
The children are fine, but the adults are furious.
As the dirt bike was going past the kids, I mean, he's kicking up rocks and shooting them in the face. I mean, you're hurting my kids now.
Hey! What the hell's your problem, man?
You almost hit our kids with that thing.
Slow down. There's speed limits.
Don't tell me what to do. Get off my driveway!
There was some verbal exchange, and Kevin would tell him, mind your own business.
I said get off my driveway! Now! What is wrong with everyone around here?
But things are only going to get louder.
This was escalating. This was going to get bad.
I know it was you!
It was just a matter of time.
I had a bad feeling.
Hey! What the hell's your problem, man?
You almost hit our kids with that thing.
Slow down.
Don't tell me what to do.
When the families of Johnny Fomathep and Danny Elliott met Kevin and Barbara Neal,
This is my wife, Barb.
they thought they'd be a great addition to the community.
I'm actually having a barbecue. I live right over there.
Not everything about their new neighbors adds up.
How does a scrap monkey afford a car like that?
Besides, they'd rather be left alone.
Get off my driveway!
Kevin wanted to be alone. He didn't want to talk to neighbors.
What is wrong with everyone around here?
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
He looked shocked that somebody would actually step in and ask him not to be doing what he's doing. He took it very personally.
There's tension in the neighborhood, but Kevin and Barbara sense something else is in the air.
When it became nighttime with the windows open, the breeze would come down through that little valley, and all of a sudden this smoke would start coming into their home.
Kevin is pretty sure he knows where it's coming from.
I mean, Danny's front gate is approximately 75 feet to 100 feet from Kevin's front gate. They could see each other, they could hear each other.
It isn't just the odor they find disturbing.
They saw a gentleman driving up in a vehicle. There was no party going on. There's no barbecuing going on here. What is this?
I'm gonna be sick.
It was so strong that Barbara was vomiting. And that's when he went over there to Danny's house to see what the heck he was doing. And he realized that it was what he believed methamphetamine smoke from cooking methamphetamine.
I don't believe this.
Just the thought of Danny doing drugs and selling drugs and people coming in and out agitated.
What's your emergency?
My neighbors are cooking meth.
What?
They called the sheriff's office.
Did you observe this firsthand?
No, but I'm not an idiot.
And the sheriff's office told them they had no units to respond out there unless it was an emergency.
I'll call it in, but at this time of night, emergencies get priority.
Kevin moved to Bobcat Lane to escape the hazards of urban life. Now, he believes he's living right next to them.
You know, if you took out your recycling more often, it wouldn't pile up like that. Just a thought. Just thought I'd let you know.
Thanks, Dad.
And even though they have no proof Danny is in the drug trade, Kevin and Barbara can't believe the other neighbors would turn a blind eye to his actions.
And they have kids.
But all isn't necessarily what it seems.
Danny was not cooking meth. I could see his backyard. His house is a small little house. Kevin was just making it up.
Kevin still insists Danny is cooking meth, so he sets out to prove it.
Kevin said, we need to put some cameras in there. And that's how that camera situation came about.
If Kevin catches Danny on tape, he believes the police will have to do something about it.
One of the cameras was mounted on his house in the front towards Diane's home, and another one was on a fence. The video captured vehicles coming in.
None of the neighbors are happy about the cameras. Kevin also records Danny's property on his cell phone. It only makes things worse between them.
One incident which Kevin did capture on video, Danny was at his fence, and he would go over the fence like this and just stare at it.
He's got a blue bandana on. He's flashing me gang signs. I'm just gonna shut the camera off. He's seen, I mean, this is what he does the entire time.
There's no end in sight to the tension on Bobcat Lane. And things get more disturbing.
It's just a weird feeling hearing gunshots.
Mom! It's okay. Johnny! Where are you going?
Stay here.
The gunfire has neighbors up in arms and ready to defend themselves.
You scared me. You almost gave me a heart attack. Let's go.
It was rapid fire, and you knew that that was an AR. Danny knew it was an AR. They were afraid.
That amount of gunfire going on, I thought for a second I was back in a war zone. It was Kevin. He's looking for every target he could find.
Kevin! Look out!
I saw what you call a poisonous plant waiting to be born.
Yo, it's him!
I'm not the one cooking meth.
So now the frustration is building up with them.
Kevin and Barbara Neal are sure their new neighbor, Danny, is dealing drugs. But the families of Johnny Fomathep and Danny Elliott have their own concerns about Kevin.
Kevin! Look out!
Whoa, whoa, easy there.
And no one feels safe on either side.
This is crazy. The amount of money it costs for 300 to 400 rounds is not cheap for any rifle. If someone's willing to pay that much money just to have a good time like that, to me, I knew right away, this is a prelude to something bigger.
And Kevin's fixation on his neighbor is about to raise the stakes.
I know, just mind your business.
In the very beginning, they were okay with each other. They said hi to each other, no big deal. Then it seems like Danny was his target.
Good day, sir. We need to search the premises.
After repeated calls from Kevin, police decide to investigate the allegations.
I don't know what this is about, but yeah, sure.
They were told that methamphetamines were being cooked on the property.
The county came out, took pictures. He told me he was showing them the whole entire property. And there's no sign Danny cooking meth in his home at all.
Thank you very much for your cooperation. We'll be on our way.
I can't believe he's getting away with this.
Kevin did believe in his own mind, like it was true and factual, but he had no evidence of any kind.
You did this! I know it was you! Why don't you mind your business? They've been harassing my family since they got here.
If Kevin and Barbara think the police will solve their problems, they're wrong.
False accusations like that.
I'm not the one cooking meth.
I just came out of their house. They're clean.
The sheriff then mentioned to Kevin, if you make a false complaint one more time, we're gonna arrest you. Well, that's when he started getting really pissed.
And I'm not the one turning a blind eye to it. You have criminals driving up and down this lane at all hours of the night. Dangerous criminals!
Hey, I need you to stop right now.
Danny mentioned something about, I don't know if he wants the county to take my kid or what, because, you know, that's a way that's gonna hurt Danny quite a bit if Gage is taken away from him.
This whole neighborhood's cracked.
Kevin just got a little bit more irate, I think, after his plan of trying to get the cops to raid Danny's house failed. He was proven wrong, and he was embarrassed.
What's wrong with everyone? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with everybody?
Kevin is still convinced he's in the right. And when police leave, he and Barbara are on their own.
Kevin believed that the police did not like him. Kevin believed that the police thought he was crazy.
So he's ready to defend himself if he needs to.
I believe that's why he went out there in his backyard with that AR-15 to let people know, I'm armed, don't come over here and hurt me or my family.
You never know if bullets gonna fly through the walls.
Are you kidding me right now?
He's doing things that are against people's, well-being. There's no need to be shooting 300 rounds a night while people have to go to work the next day.
He's losing his damn mind.
All right, that's enough.
This time, it's Danny's turn to make a call.
Danny had called the sheriff's office, as did Diane. The sheriff's office did respond.
Heard calls about shots. No shooting past 11.
You'll come down here and harass about shooting cans on my property, but not my neighbors about cooking meth?
Kevin was so angry at law enforcement, bitter at law enforcement, that they wouldn't help him.
No shots past 11.
Quiet returns to the neighborhood, but that doesn't mean peace is restored.
Danny tells me, well, at least it's over. Then I kind of turned to him and said, for now, people like that don't give up that easily.
As soon as the police leave, Kevin starts up again.
When there was gunshots going off, Lorenzo did nothing about it. So they just quit calling. It became pointless to call them.
The friendly community spirit on the ranch is no more.
Hey, bud. Dad's gonna drive you to school. Okay?
Gage was no longer allowed to play outside. For at least 8 months, he wasn't allowed to play outside because it wasn't safe.
I'm getting so sick of this.
Danny didn't like violence, but you could see it weighing on him.
Like many of the neighbors, Tiffany and Johnny take precautions.
Junior, let's go!
We couldn't even invite friends to come up because we couldn't guarantee their safety to have like a barbecue or whatnot. At that point, I tell my wife, and I want her to text me every time she goes and leaves the house and drop the kids off.
I avoided Kevin altogether.
She kind of scared of living near him. She was licensed to carry a gun.
As the street turns against him, Kevin keeps up his close watch.
They could see each other, they could hear each other, just like a hunter. Every so often, they'll drive by, they'll flip them off too.
The hate built up over months. There was hatred between those neighbors.
I'll drive you to work.
Even though they don't live on Bobcat Lane, local residents like Coy Ferreira get pulled into the feud.
Danny, how you doing, man? Set to go with the assault rifle?
Yeah, it is.
Now Kevin believes that everyone in town is against him.
I swear I'm at my breaking point.
Don't know your neighbors until you really know your neighbors, I guess.
Kevin continues to investigate Danny, hoping to gather evidence, but his proof is never conclusive.
They're actually cleaning up the meth lab.
So he remains vigilant.
And I walked the fence line and cocked his gun so you could hear it.
Kevin doesn't take kindly to those he deems intruders.
Get off my property!
This is not your property.
I'm so sick of you and your family!
Oh, for crying out loud.
This whole neighborhood's cracked!
You would never think in like 1,000 years you're gonna have a crazy neighbor like this that's gonna take it to the next level.
The tension between the families of Kevin Neal and Danny Elliott has gone from bad to worse.
Kevin was growing frustration, and he would look me right square in the eye and say, "Do you understand me? I am not leaving this neighborhood."
What is wrong with everybody? What's wrong with you?
And now, the feud has drawn first blood. While Haley is rushed to the hospital, police try to piece together what happened.
It was him! I'm telling you, it was him!
She's crazy! They tried to kill me!
But who attacked who is what police have to figure out.
It's a little bit of a he said, she said.
Kevin said Haley and Diane would always harass me. He told them to get off the property. Well, they weren't on his property. They were at his property line.
For crying out loud.
And it escalated from there. Kevin said Haley had pulled a knife.
Do you even know what you're doing to my family?
He tried to take the knife from her.
He told deputies, oh, she must have somehow stabbed herself in this incident.
She had a knife! What was I supposed to do? I defended myself! That whole family's nuts! Right down to that snotty-nosed kid!
That's not true at all! He's a liar! He attacked us! You were just walking through the bush!
Diana and Haley have a different story to tell.
He apparently shot at them, not hitting anybody.
I'm so sick of you and your family!
Oh, for crying out loud.
This whole fight started that ended up with Haley getting stabbed.
Tell him I didn't do anything.
Kevin said he was just shooting at some cans, like target practice.
Evidence supports the women's version of events.
They did find bullet holes near where the two of them had been walking. So pretty much concluded that as far as how he was the victim.
Not only is Kevin arrested, all his guns are taken away. But the war on Bobcat Lane is far from over.
He was home from jail before they got back from the hospital.
His bail is pretty high, $150,000.
Kevin's family posts bail, and he is released.
How is he even allowed back here? I can't take this anymore.
At that point, Danny got really upset, and things escalated from there. After he got arrested, boy, did the volume go up.
The police may have taken Kevin's guns, but that doesn't mean he can't get more.
He received it in the mail order and put it together.
This one's for you, Daddy! And your whole family!
Kevin's voice was very unique, so the whole entire neighborhood listening.
Right down to that snotty-nosed camp!
Scared of the whole idea of this crazy guy shooting in the middle of the night, screaming threats of, I'm gonna kill you and your family, I'm gonna hunt down your boy. He didn't know what to do.
You wanna mess with my boy, Kevin? You're gonna get through me first!
You know he's got a gun too, right? You know he can come back here?
That's enough.
I can't take it anymore. I want to move.
We're not moving! Not another word.
People started getting more worried now. Now you have a guy that just stabbed somebody and beat up somebody. He was gonna face 15 years. He's got nothing to lose.
Kevin's dream of a peaceful country life is dead, and he vows revenge on his neighbors and their families. No one could ever have imagined how far he would take it.
Was cool.
Hey, Gage, what's up, buddy? How was the game?
Pretty good.
It was good?
Okay, let's go. Gonna be late.
That morning, I packed my kids in the car and, I drove my kids to school like normal.
But this is not going to be a normal day.
Pool alongside me. I seen it was Kevin. I told my kids to get down, and then I seen the first bullet coming through right in front of my face, hitting the window.
Get down!
I have blood coming out of my mouth. I was just coughing up blood. I wasn't aware of where my injuries were. I just know that I couldn't breathe.
The feud between Kevin and his neighbors has taken a bloody turn, and he isn't finished yet.
He goes towards the school. Because a couple of days before, he mentioned he wanted to kill Gage at the school.
Pretty good.
And all of a sudden, there's like a firecracker.
Everybody come on inside the school, please. Now, go. Hide behind your desk. Come on, quickly. We're going into school right now. So everybody come out, quickly, quickly, quickly.
All the students ran into the classrooms.
They had just gone on lockdown after hearing some of the shots.
But locks won't stop what's coming.
And here we have 6-year-old Stebbins who have no idea what's going on, and they're just hiding underneath a desk. And in my mind, I was thinking that he's gonna pick us off one by one. His eyes were black. I mean, it's like he wasn't there. He was like looking into complete darkness. And that's when the first gunshots started firing through the window.
I told my kids to get down.
Get down!
Kevin is taking his vengeance out on his neighbors and their children.
So now he's going on his hunt.
They're shooting at Rancho Tehama School right now, but I got kids. Okay. Can you please send somebody there? We're scared of the school is not big. They don't have protection. Okay, we've got multiple other 911s. We're taking the shooting calls.
It felt like a war zone in there. Felt like my heart hit my gut, telling me that this is it. This is the time that I'm actually going to die, along with half a dozen students. There was multiple shots coming from the direction of the school, and everybody knows where the school's at.
Jesse Sanders lives nearby.
I ran about a mile in less than 30 seconds. I don't know how, but I did.
Hey, over here!
I just told him, hey, that's, just whatever I could think to make him mad enough to not focus on all the kids inside. And then his gun jammed. He just started screaming at the top of his lungs, like, ah! Like he was so mad that no bullets hit me, that he just stopped all of a sudden, took off.
Kevin doesn't get far.
When he realized he couldn't get through the gate and the sheriff's department was on him, Kevin took his own life.
And that was it. All of it happened in less than an hour, I believe.
It was about 15 minutes later, I heard the last bullets finally stopped.
Police credit the quick thinking of the school secretary for saving the lives of more than 100 children that day, including Danny's 7-year-old son, Gage.
And out of nowhere, he just says,
"He was coming for me. That means they're all dead."
He just said his dad and his grandma are dead.
I'm sure everyone's fine, Gage.
No.
Police race to the quiet street where Gage's family lives and make a horrifying discovery.
He was right. They were dead.
Police believe Danny and his mother, Diana, were Kevin's first victims that morning. An additional 5 adults and 5 children are wounded, along with Tiffany and her son.
I walk into the ER. My 10-year-old, he was laying there. He said, "Dad, I got shot in the leg twice, but I need you to check on Mom." He was more worried about his mother than his own self.
I was listed in critical condition. They said that my lungs was bleeding, it was collapsed. My scapula was shattered, and my small intestines were cut up in 3 different parts.
An hour became 18 hours, and Fortunately, everything was good. But it was tough to see your wife injured like that. I feel we were one of the lucky families.
Kevin's rampage results in the deaths of 5 people.
Kevin was apparently just driving around and shooting at random.
There was another vehicle coming toward him, and he opened fire on that vehicle.
That's the best deputies could figure, given who the victims were and no seeming connection.
The shootings devastate the community. But the big question is, what made Kevin finally snap?
It really all started the night before.
Some believe that as Kevin's rage against his neighbors consumed him, he turned his fury on his wife.
I want to move! We're not moving!
Not another word.
She was afraid to, but she doesn't want to say anything.
Authorities said that Kevin shot his wife at home.
Kevin cut a hole in the floor of their kitchen, threw her in the hole, and covered her up with a tarp.
Once he took that step, there was no going back.
I think when he took Barb's life, he done lost everything.
And with nothing left to lose, he decided to rid the neighborhood of his enemies, their children, and anyone else he came across.
He complained about everyone was against him. But I don't think anyone was against him. He was just making it up.
Danny and me went through so many situations that, you can't build a bond like that with anybody else. He was my best friend. I mean, I miss him every day.
Haley survives. She was out of town during the shooting. Gage is sent to live with extended family.
Gage got the worst of the whole deal. He's lost his whole family.
Since the murders, people on Bobcat Lane have begun the hard journey towards healing. Kevin's house has been bulldozed to the ground.
My little community in Rancho Tehama came together. They didn't only take care of my family, they took care of everybody. The kids at school, even if they weren't injured, violence of this nature will never leave you. It's always good to move forward. I mean, what else can you do?